What's up, Dad Adventurers? Today we're taking a deep dive into Splash in the Boro, a water park in Statesboro, Georgia, and boy does it make a splash for all the right reasons. It's just an hour and a half drive for us, which is the perfect distance for girls who can't hang for a long road trip. And the perfect aquatic park partner? Of course, it's a grandpa who is just a big kid himself. Now, I don't know the history of Splash, but to me, it looks like a public water play area that just kept growing. It's still run by Bullitt County and is next door to their standard county aquatic center. It doesn't have the biggest or the tallest slides or the widest variety of water thrills, but for younger kids, it may just be the perfect water play spot with a price that is easy to love. There are two water playgrounds, one with a huge bucket of dumping water appropriately branded to the park, and another directly next to the wave pool. Both feature stairs and slides and all kinds of fun gadgets to grab and splash. The wave pool is definitely on the smaller side, but I've never seen it packed, and how big does it really need to be as long as it's got the motion of the ocean, right? There's a winding lazy river that does way more than a simple circle and has plenty of splash zones, and then splash pads sprinkled around the entire park for various ages. But the absolute highlight for my girls were the racing slides. They were just big enough to go down them on our last visit, and that's what they did over and over and over. Pops and I started taking turns so as not to have to climb all those stairs as much as our little Energizer twins did. There's also another set of body and tube slides, but we didn't quite hit the height requirement there, meaning we'll have to go back for another trip soon. Too bad. But it also meant we were the perfect size to stay on the tot slides, and even with twins, of course you have the firstborn that does it just the right way, and the secondborn who kind of swims in her own current. Now, another huge feature of the park is the FlowRider, a surf simulator that you can even buy just a day pass to. The guards were very helpful for my girls giving it their first try, and they both did so much better than I ever imagined. So I decided not to beach my whale of a body on this thing, but when Pops got on, well, the footage instantly took the top spot in our family's funniest home videos. He did eventually get the hang of it, but that's not nearly as much fun to watch. So do I recommend a trip to Splash in the Boro in Statesboro? That's a resounding yes, especially if you have little ones who are just getting to be good swimmers. Teens will likely be a bit underwhelmed, but these girls think it's tops. Now, I have some dad tips that I think will help you make the most of your day, but first, do you mind hitting that like button to let YouTube know that you enjoy seeing content for families? And how about hitting subscribe so that you can go along with us on our next dad venture? Okay, so let's talk tips. We decided to be cheap and pack a lunch. That meant schlepping back to the car with wet feet in a dirt parking lot and trying to find a spot of grass to lay down a blanket. There were two good eating options inside. Splashy's has your typical hot dogs, burgers, chicken tenders, and then a pizza place in the back. So suggestion one, go ahead and eat inside the park. Forget saving that money. But if at all possible, I'd leave most of your items in the car and avoid the hefty locker fees. I promise you'll have enough fun to go without your phone for a few hours. And as far as entry fees, make sure you check online as you'll save about $5 a ticket, except for old guys. They get in cheaper at the gate with an ID providing their senior status. Altogether, it was right at $100 for 4 of us to get in, and it was definitely a Benjamin Franklin amount of fun. Side note, Pippa disappears in this slide. Where does she go? Anyway, also make sure you bring water shoes or slip-ins as the pavement can get rough and hot, and slather on the sunscreen because shade is next to non-existent. Now, there are cabanas that you can rent around the wave pool and lazy river, which do have shade. We were on the run, so that didn't make much sense for us, but had we brought our toddler or had a larger group, I can see how it'd be nice. They are about $100 to $150 depending on the day and the features included, but could save you from needing lockers or other amenities. And finally, my last tip, get ready to climb because these stairs are killer, and we trudged up them so many times. So in my mind, Splash was going to take us about 3 or 4 hours, kill half the day. We'd have a nice drive home, time for a long dinner on the way. My girls opened up the park and almost closed it down. More than 6 hours in this small park with a ton of heart. So, a final tip, be prepared for more time and more fun than you'll think you'll find at a public water park in rural Georgia. Until our next adventure.
How was it, girls?